James Ernest of the Grueling Truth, here with Charlie White, gold medalist for ice dancing. Charlie, tell us what you've been up to with Stars on Ice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Stars on Ice is a wonderful skating show, and it's been around for a long, long time. Obviously founded by Scott Hamilton of some renown. I think most people know him by now. But continued on. His legacy continues on to a wonderful show, and it's the premier skating show in the United States right now. And it's full of many Olympic medalists and many of the Olympic hopefuls for the upcoming 2018 games, which will be they'll be here before we know it. And so it's been a blast for my skating partner Meryl Davis and myself. And obviously we won the last Olympics, but we will not be competing in these next games. But we're proud participants in the Stars on Ice cast, and it's been a blast working with the kids that are gearing up for next season.
Excellent. I could tell you've been asked that question so many times. You're just like, nope, I'm going to get it out of the way. You don't even have to ask me about being in 2018. Because, of course, that was one of the big things, shoot everyone.
That was a big thing, yeah, and it was, since the game, it's been, since 2014, it was something that we had to give a lot of thought to. Mm-hmm. And, there's just so many great reasons to come back, but also a lot of, obviously, otherwise we would have come back. Otherwise, but quite a few reasons why we, are just so happy with our lives and satisfied with the work that we did at the last Olympics. Obviously, winning makes it a lot easier to make a good decision. So yeah, I think for us, we made the right decision, but that certainly doesn't take away from the talent that America has to offer.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, going out on top's always nice. Plus, I can imagine, how much hard work and dedication goes into something like that, with not doing that this time around, you get to spend more time with the family.
That's right, yeah, and actually I got married a year after the Olympics, and we just had our 2-year anniversary a couple days ago, and yeah, life is great, and I'm grateful for everything that skating has brought to me. I met my wife through skating, and a lot of success in the international scene, and life lessons, and just being able to travel the world and meet so many wonderful people. But yeah, I'm very lucky in a lot of ways. But of course, like you said, it comes with hard work. Meryl and I started skating together when we were 8 and 9 years old, so we're going on 20 years of skating together. And so that in and of itself, it's almost unbelievable.
So what's that like, having 2 wives? You got your work wife, and you got your your real life wife.
Yeah, no. It's interesting. Obviously, when you're skating with someone, and a lot of the music that you skate to, it can be romantic. But Meryl and I, having started together when we were 8 and 9, I think. And actually for all skating partnerships in general, it's a bit of a kind of a it's kind of like a friend/working relationship.
Yeah, more like brother and sister than, yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly, yeah. So, you have to be able to function when you're exhausted and you're having to work really hard, and you have to be you very much have to be on the same page, and thankfully Meryl and I found ourselves sort of on that same page right from the get-go, and I think that we attribute a lot of our success to that reason, to our parents for raising us and teaching us respect, and just what it takes, the hard work and sacrifice, and but yeah, no, I think I'm very lucky, and my wife, her name used to be Tannis Sullivan. She won the Olympic silver medal in 2006. So she's familiar with the sport, obviously. Mm-hmm. She knows what goes into it, and was, just that support was absolutely crucial in my being able to have the success that I had.
So tell us a funny story about Meryl. Something, about how when you all met, or just, training along the way. Any good stories?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think for her, she always wanted to have a dog. Mm-hmm. And so like, for the last 5 years, all she's ever been able to talk about is this dog. Oh, excuse me. I gotta mute you for 1 second. I gotta have a coughing fit. Sorry, I'm in a hotel room. The air is dry.
No worries, it happens.
But yeah, so Meryl has all she's dreamed out for a really long time is been getting a dog, and I guess it's maybe not the funny story. It's more of a happy story, and so and because I have 2 dogs, so she's sort of like those have been her like her kids. She's semi-adopted them and enjoyed spending time with them, but she finally got a dog, and she got a girl dog, but she decided to go with the name Bilbo Tootie Rose Baggins, I guess Davis, which is her last name, because she's such a big Lord of the Rings fan, that she thought that Bilbo would be the appropriate name, even though it's a girl. So yeah, she's obviously making the most of our stepping away from competing and being able to get a dog. And so I recommend anyone listening, it's definitely worth checking out her social media, because she's got dozens of pictures of her cute new dog.
So tell us about some of the coaches and choreographers along the way that really influenced and impacted you.
Yeah, absolutely. So growing up at the Detroit Skating Club, we worked with the coach, Seth Shapitz, and he coached us until we were about 17. And at that point, we kind of decided we were ready to go and work with some of the most elite coaches in the world, actually, who are also in the Metro Detroit area, which is thankfully where we're from. So we moved over to these coaches, Igor Spielbaum and Ring Zueva, who were both our coaches and our choreographers. And they worked with my wife and brought her and her partner's career along very well. And they won as I mentioned before, they won the silver medal in 2006, which was the first Olympic medal for an American ice dance team in, I think, 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And so that was a big deal, and it was a real honor for us to be able to work with those coaches in an arena with that level of talent. I think it gave us a lot of belief in the work that our coaches were doing, but also being around it and sort of seeing the talent. We felt like, if we kept working really hard, one day we would sort of be able to be at that level. And so, it's so wonderful to be around other athletes who are equally committed, and so these coaches, Igor and Marina, they really they fostered that community, and they helped our passion for skating thrive, and
they set the
always
bar
made us work
for
on.
you? They kind of
Sorry, what's that?
They set the bar for you, and then inspire you to achieve it, I would say.
Absolutely, and I think in many of the same ways that people remember their favorite teachers, the ones that have had a big impact on maybe the way they look at school or their life or a certain certain subject. I think we're fortunate to have found those coaches be the ones, and they were the ones that led us to so much of our success. So we're very lucky in finding them, and especially in having them in the Metro Detroit area where we grew up. So we didn't have to move away from our families, which is such a common thing for elite athletes. Searching out the best coaching. So we had the best of both worlds. We had our families, we had our great coaches, and so yeah, I mean that's the kind of thing. All those things need to kind of work together, oftentimes, to have the success that we had in winning the Olympics.
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I know I've spoke to a lot of athletes where they've had to move cities, like with the motocross and the arena cross people, because of lack of practice time in the wintertime, because they were up north. They had to move south just to be able to work on their sport more often.
Exactly, and I mean in figure skating, especially in dance where you do have a partner, sometimes just finding the right person physically with the right temperament. People are moving across the world. We have Russians and Lithuanians, all kinds of French, British, all of these people, and a lot of them end up coming to the Detroit area specifically to work with the high level of coaching that we have there. So, that's not easy on anyone. That's just that extra level of stress. And, and again, I just can't say how important it was for Mal and myself to be able to stay there at home and be near our family.
So, how accurate was the movie Blades of Blades of Steel?
Blades of Glory?
Blades of Glory,
yeah, no, that was pretty much dead on. No, I mean, honestly, there were some things that people would think were probably more of a joke than they really were. I mean, there's a lot of truth in that, and I mean, look, I think first of all, if you can't laugh at yourself in general, I think you need to take a look in the mirror. But of course, as an ice dancer, a lot of the things that we do, can at least verge on a bit ridiculous. I think at the end of the day, especially as an event like the Olympics, however, it's the seriousness. It sort of overtakes all of that other stuff. That and what you're left with is just an amazing mix of artistry and athleticism. And I grew up playing hockey. And I played hockey until I was 17, and I was always a huge sports fan. And I can honestly say that ice dancing, figure skating, the 4 minutes that I'm out there, I'm working my butt off about as hard as anyone else in any other sport. And combined with the fact that I'm doing it, doing lifts with a girl that's got razor blades on the end of her feet, and anything can go wrong at any second, and oftentimes it does. I think while it's good to be able to laugh at it too. I think that there's a really awesome side to it, and the artistic aspect, the creative aspect, and definitely the athleticism is there too. So I appreciated the movie. I thought it was great. I love Will Ferrell, but yeah, I mean, some things are a little bit different in the real world, I guess.
Well, definitely, yeah. My main part about it was that move that they had. I mean, obviously, that is a little exaggerated. But yeah.
Yeah, we've never given that one. We've never tried that one.
But like you mentioned, with the razor blades at the end of the feet and all.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, it really is. I mean, there's a level of danger, and and a lot of you can't put that. You always have to be safe, and obviously, a lot of times I'm lifting her. I have to be very aware of what I'm doing. I have to, really think safety first, because just the momentum, the velocity that we create with our, because we can turn so quickly, especially when I'm using her as sort of a counterbalance in a lift. You have to be careful. But fortunately for Meryl and myself, we've been pretty much accident free, and I'm knocking on wood as I say that, just to make sure we're clear the rest of the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, with Pennsylvania coming up, you're probably pretty excited, right?
Yeah, that's right. So our next stop is Hershey, Pennsylvania, and that's on Thursday, this coming Thursday, and then we'll be in Chicago the following Saturday. And yeah, I think we're thinking a lot about sort of the competitive aspects of figure skating, but certainly as we're talking about Stars on Ice, it's so much fun to be able to, just without worrying about the judges, have fun with the audience and go out there and maybe the skating isn't as dead on as perfect as when you're in competition, but I think it just, the level of excitement, the level of energy is so high. It's a great time. It's a great time for us as the skaters, and it's a great time for the audience as well.
So since it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania, who's going to sneak out and buy the most chocolate?
Honestly, I know both Meryl and I are huge fans of chocolate, so all the rest, they're going to maybe for the next competitive season. So they're probably gonna be steering clear of most of the good chocolate, which is fine, because we'll be the ones that are making it up.
Do you prefer the short program or the freestyle program?
I always preferred the freestyle program, just because it always felt like if you made one mistake in the short program, it had such a bigger impact on the ability to appreciate that overall. Whereas in the free, you could get away with maybe one mistake, and it would be a little bit more forgiven, just because you're out there, you're 4.5 minutes, and it sort of blends into the background. But yeah, I always felt a little bit more pressure. It was always like it was the first impression that the judges were going to have in the competition, and then so yeah, I don't know. That was always a little bit.
You had mentioned that you'd played hockey to 17. Have you ever kicked around the ideal of ECHL, AHL, anything like that? Just something light.
Yeah, I mean, I actually attend the University of Michigan, and it's wondering if my eligibility has run out because I'm a huge hockey fan, and I loved it. I sometimes joke that I'm a hockey player who was stuck in the body of a figure skater. I'm only 5'9", I'm about 100, so not. It's gonna be tough to go into the corner as a defenseman that's 6'4", but thankfully with having skated so long, just my balance and the strength on my legs is pretty good. So maybe at the collegiate level, I'd be able to cut it.
Cool. Yeah, because that just seems like something that would be a nice, fun story. You come out and play for. Are you still in Detroit?
Yep, that's right.
So I can imagine there are plenty of teams up there to watch and to go see. Not just the Red Wings, but I'm sure they got.
That's right. Yeah. We got the Grand Prix Final. The Wings, which is a great NHL team. So yeah, there's a lot of great hockey around Detroit, and that's probably one of the reasons why I got into it. But yeah, that would be a fun story for sure.
So what was Dancing with the Stars like?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, it was coming off of the Olympics, and it almost felt like we went straight. So, it's such a totally different experience. Where the Olympics, it's like you spend your entire life preparing for this moment, and it's just a bunch of athletes who are doing their very, very best, and then you go to Los Angeles, reality TV show based around dancing with someone that you just met, and it's like 3 months of your life, and it was just for Meryl and myself, I think it just felt like kind of like a fun reward for our success in skating, and it was amazing to sort of experience this other side of life, because really, I mean, reality television and being an Olympic athlete, like just the lifestyle is so different. But it was really fun. It was great, and I mean, there's a reason why it's so successful. The dancers are amazing. It was fun for us to be able to learn how to ballroom dance properly, and yeah, I mean, I think we were able to make the most of it.
I mean, on the bright side, that you all were used to such long, strenuous practices. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the schedule was probably nothing for you all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, and that we really appreciated it. I mean, one of my favorite, one of the contestants in my year that was my favorite, Drew Carey, right? Mm-hmm. So Drew Carey is he's a bit of an older guy, and he's not used to going hour after hour after hour, and but what I think was great about the show is that everyone could kind of bring a piece of themselves to the show, and that was what made their dance special. So for him, it was his sense of humor, obviously hilarious, and he's a showman, so he's kind of able to use that to his advantage, and he's more comfortable in front of live audiences. But yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of the training, we had a huge step up on everyone else.
Any family members, sponsors, coaches that you would like to thank?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a great question, and it's something that a lot of the times, obviously we've worked with so many of the sponsors that we have worked with, and people I think probably they gave them to say how much they appreciate them, but I think just in general, as an athlete, so much of how we're able to make the most out of our time as athletes, it's sort of dictated by our confidence in ourselves and our belief in ourselves. And, when you have major corporations backing you, as Meryl and I did going into the last Olympics, I mean, we were working with Giza and the Airweave, which is a mattress topper company. We were working with Kellogg's and Ralph Lauren, and it was just AT&T even. It's just having that on your side, it really does make a difference. And and it's Obviously, as the skaters, it's it's an incredibly expensive sport, and we've sacrificed and we've put everything we own into it, and so having being able to represent your country and being able to represent these amazing companies, who are putting themselves out there and spending the money to support Olympic hopefuls, support the Olympic philosophy. I think it's really special, and so I don't scoff at athletes when they thank their sponsors, because I do think it's really meaningful. But I think one of my sponsors also deserves a special shout out, because they sponsor, actually, it's a dog food company called Nulo, and they work almost predominantly with athletes, because it's sort of like the tagline is healthier together, and so the people and their pets try to stay healthy, and I have 2 awesome dogs, and let me tell you, they made such a difference in my life in preparing for the Olympics, and every time you get home, they're always so happy to see you, and and so I was able, after my Olympic success, I was able to reward them with their own sponsorship. So that was pretty cool. So I mean, that's Nulo. Thank you for that.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, shoot. So sounds like both of y'all are definitely big dog fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got great golf out here in Michigan, and well, I'm not in Michigan right now, but we do, and I'm not. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to devote myself to it to be anywhere near good, but man, it's ever fun, so I'll tell you that.
Excellent. So give us a summarization why we need to go see the Stars on Ice. What would we be missing out on if we don't go?
Yeah, I think it's an amazing family adventure. It's being able to see figure skating live, just in and of itself is such an amazing thing. But to get to see the very best skaters in the United States of America, I know it's an honor for me to perform alongside them. But I think for kids, for adults who have grown up and have been fans of skating, who enjoy skating themselves, who enjoy just being entertained with a night of family fun, it's really great. The choreography, the music, and just the inspiration of seeing these young athletes go out there and perform. It's really special, and I think it's definitely worth going, and not something that you want to miss out on.
Definitely, yeah. I was gonna say I'm excited about it. It's just unfortunately with it being the pre-Olympic schedule that it's cut down on a number of events. I'm hoping for 2018 we get Indianapolis or Columbus or
yeah,
Cincinnati.
For sure. Yeah. After the Olympics, I would count on it being a much more expanded version. But this will be a nice preview for all of the people that are looking forward to the athletes that are going to be representing the U.S. At the Winter Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, shoot, it's one of those opportunities that even if you do got to drive the extra hour or two, that it is definitely worth it.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I definitely agree.
Well, Charlie, I'd like to thank you for being on the show tonight.
Hey, thank you so much for